Alright, so we got an opponent here. I asked him if he wants me to play less than tier 1 stuff. And he said play whatever. So, Bala, Bazine, okay. 1 damage, and that's the shield thing. You got it. Um, I don't ever want him to get 2 resource. I think I'm okay with this. We do get to pick battlefields, so this is interesting now. Mm. He can have shields. Yeah, sure. Mm. What the shit? He got nothing to pay for 5? Um, Oh, I could have actually R2'd there. I forgot. Put entourages out. Kind of want to threaten disrupt. Um, he hasn't done anything yet. We don't particularly care about those. Hello. What's up, Wags? Yeah. Alright, I gotta think about this. I could action cheat to rip his hand, but that's no bueno. Man, that's even worse trash than before. So we got some shields. We had 2 damage, 2. Um, yeah. Alright, so what do I gotta do here? My guy's gonna die. I could shield him? Get 1 extra damage? All right. I have some removal. Hmm. One, two, three, four. Are you fucking shitting me? The damage is just coming out too slow. I don't. My damage, like, fucking the free taps and shit have just been ridiculous.
Hey, Vibro Sword.
1 second, 1 second. Good call. Still on this focus. So we're not touching the disrupt. I don't care about 1 damage. I care about the money more than that. The riot shields in hand is okay, but the other one's useless. I can toss that to reroll. So I'm looking at that. Probably greeted that a little too much. Yeah, my damage started off way too slow. And I should have just disrupted the fuck out of him. Like, I still don't fucking need resources at this point. It's stupid. So let's put this here. And lose up the fucking die. So yeah, I've done nothing. That's not good. Because my total health pool is now fucking 9. But that's because I took the 4 from that thing like an idiot. Give me removal. Oh, none of them are scoundrels. We got a cool action sheet, though. Don't know how relevant this is. We have 2 pieces of removal and a crazy Chewbacca thing that we can't overwrite. We could do some Chewbacca shit off of the fucking redeploy shift, though. So it's definitely interesting. Can you stop hitting 2 ranged? Can't action cheat kill anybody. The flank I still need to have up for the other thing. I guess I can automate it. So we'll go with the entourage and the R2. Probably should have just went straight to a heal. I don't really need this 2 disrupt, but it'll force his resource. Maybe? Yeah. Yep. Dies, takes 1, redeploys, and then I lose 2 fucking days. Kept the flank, that's funny. Good job, Shields. We needed you. Oh. Wait, isn't it useless? All right, so I can just try to slow roll this a bit because the expectation he doesn't have another discard card. We'll 3 him because we could activate kill. Yeah. So shocks are dead. I think we barned through both flanks already. We have one automated left. Can't fluid or post with the guys that are dead, so I have a bunch of dead removal. I don't know what you're going for here, buddy. Shield pretty much. Oh, shield's okay. Alright, so any pump is just a fast resolve. Oh, you're awesome. By awesome, I mean fucking shit, 3PO, you bitch. Why is this guy letting people be purple? So the only removal I have here is flee the scene. Meaning I have to be relatively quick. Put out the hired muscle. Alright. This fucking purple guy's agitating me. That thing's dead. But I can't take the 4. I'm gonna leave this here for me. What did I lose for my discard, by the way? Was it the hard missile? Yeah, so that was just bad on my part. I should have just auto-resolved. Who knew he was going to fucking hit the nuts? All right, so we have an action cheat. We need from this guy to hit him with a 6. We can do that off of a focus. So let us do this. Because if we hit the focus, we could just murder off of it. So I need to field medic here. Because I have to YOLO kill him either way. God damn it. So now we have to hit the focus because we need him to just die. Actually, I don't have to do the fucking payment thing. So this is 8, which is what I need to not... What, I need 6 for this? This is 5, 4, 5, 6. So I should have just went with shields. And we can 3 her. Alright, so he got to dump my hand, meaning we're still in a premium spot here. I can't do anything besides the... Okay, I guess I could grab the shield. Let me grab the shield. I guess indirects would threaten kill, and I should be trying to look for that as well. Because I don't think I can get through him with rerolls, but maybe. So this is a 4. He's got 3 cards left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'd have to be looking for other shit. Alright, so let's pay for it. Touch the focus and the damage. If that was a 0, I'd be okay with it. I get 2 money back. Oh, come on, don't fuck with me right now. He should have just taken a discard so he could try to threaten a kill. I guess I have a bunch of health. Fuck you, guy. You really would hit that shit. You fucking hit the nuts on everything. Alright, so I guess the question of where I go wrong there is that I just either don't ramp enough But he had fucking removal, so it's weird. I let him hit me with the 4s, but I don't think that was a issue. Maybe I should just let him assault flat? Because the Kanto's rough, and I need the shields, maybe? Oh, he's switching to Jinkas? Okay, guy. Could just stab his money. The Vibra Swords are much rougher to cast in this version. Is the versioning correct because of that? Maybe? The R2 activation just feels rough and awful. But like maybe that's why I need to play 1-drop so I can go 1-drop Ewok Bow, then roll out with Greez immediately. And that might make just the most sense. Because I can't push damage well here with this shit. I have to do everything from my hand. I have 2 pieces of mitigation, but at least one of them's going to fucking get locked down. He wins. Sure. Let's go 1 and 1. The 24 health is a little rough. I don't have anything to crazy sustain. Okay. Is he stupid? Thanks, guys. Can't play this fucking entourage. Awesome. Well, I kind of need the ability to play this Vibro. But I'm going to risk it for the biscuit here. Because if he doesn't get damage, I'm okay with it. That's like #1 foolish shit. You don't go for the disrupt though, you just go for the damage. He's gonna have Rebel Assault? Oh, nope. Kind of just want to push this damage. I don't care about that thing. He can have the battlefield. Two disrupt? I don't really want that, but it's okay. See if he gets my entourage again. Over this stack of fucking removal. We have to put the Fickle in first. Fickle threatens crazy amounts of disrupt. Now, he could have played the cards from my hand, but yeah, I guess he didn't have the money for it. Oh, Fickle doing his job. Like a boss. Please tell me he does something besides eat shit. Okay. You got it, buddy. You can has it like that. In that case, I have to ask myself, what do I actually want here? We still want money. Buttloads of it. Yep. Thank you. It's what I needed so I can do this. He's limited on the leftover cards. I do need the money to an extent. But what I don't need is this damage. So we're going to go for the discard there. That's mildly interesting. He has the disrupt. There's a mild concern over that. So this is where we take a resource. Okay, hold on. We take a resource and see what he does. Because he should have salt flatted already. If I had the money beforehand, I could have just immediately fickled. So yeah, he has to reroll. And like, now I take his last card. He has to kind of nutty roll me. Yeah, so that's fine. We'll take the last card. One, two, three. That was actually a huge mistake on my part. If I had done this incorrectly, like I took a resource but didn't take the other resource. Oh no, I couldn't take the other resource. He would just 2 disrupt. This was a huge mistake activating the 3PO. It ended up working out okay, but so we're cool with that. So yeah, we'll just disrupt here. We'll jam in for 3. And 2 more. And just have removal for the rest of our lives. Because you can't lock up enough cards. Also, people should be doing Cassian first, not Jin first. That's just a ginormous mistake. I don't know why people do the Jin first. That's literally how you lose the die. Our stack of removal is too good. Okay. Pick your poison. Little guy, you can't really think I'm gonna let you just do that, right? I don't need money here, but we'll always take it. Okay. I don't think he understands how this is going to work. That 2 holds him hostage for the rest of his life. If he flips it with salt flat, I just R2 it back. Or I just do that. Yeah. Now he has to go for damage. And that's Dookie. Yeah, take my money. Hope you feel like a big man. We can just disrupt him here. The funny part is if he had just never spent the 3 on that bullshit, he'd have been okay. Yeah, I told you it was a mistake, bro. Yeah, listen. I can't play the Ewok bow, so I might as well just do this shit. There's 2 sides on this I can hit, but I want that. It only does 2. Doesn't do a whole lot there. Okay. We don't need this bow, so we will re-roll off of that. So we have 3, 6. We're short. Wow, guys, what are you doing? So 2, 3. Fatal focus or the actual damage on any of these. He scoops it up. You guys are ridiculous. She's alive. Fucking ridiculous. Y'all, no motherfuckers can hit a fucking focus. Not a fucking one of you. Hey, yeah. Alright, so she's dead off the instigate. Oh, I can't play the instigate. Oh, get some. Scrapping it up. Oh, no. No scrappies yet. Hmm. Let's just electroshock that. Not have to worry about it. Because Cassian don't do shit. Never again. Love it. So what's wrong here? I thought I had 2. What happened to my Ewok bows? Oh, no, I do have Ewok bows and BD1. So what was what was the issue the first time? Alright, so let's see. The droid issue was that we didn't come out with damage because we didn't put things in play. So what's the drawback? Like, is there? I can probably just straight make money off of the R2 version, and it plays better with Vibro Sword. So like this version has issues. So one sec. The Greez is a better setup for 3PO. Let's go switch to Chrome. So recording, by the way.
Hi.
So Vibrosword's much rougher with the transition. Okay, so let me just stop this stream for 1 second. Okay. So Vibrosword's much rougher with the transition. But I don't want to cut Vibrosword. So what do we do here? I think this is easily where we switch back to this. Now we have aggression. We have a lot. We have probably a little too much aggression. Greez coming in on the back end is largely problematic. Why? Because these relatively rough sides. Do the Ewok bows... The Ewok bows probably change how things work with R2. Primarily in that the grappling is required a lot of focus. My damage is less here. But this setup might just be better overall still for this. And if I don't have a Vibro Sword, I could just put an Ewok bow on Greez and start with that. So that seems reasonable. The thing I kind of have to ask myself is do this. This is just, it's far too many big drops. Like, I think the 2 Chewbacca's is fine, but the problem is with 2 Chewbacca's, I actually need the Anakins. Or in theory, I need the Anakins. So like, the hired muscle is probably the weaker card, but like on a per die basis, it's strong. It just costs a lot. So like, -1 hired muscle gets me some different plays. The thing is like, the 3 is probably just super necessary frequently. I think I just have to focus on money more and put that first upgrade on Greez. And it's probably just different here, but like, the thing I'm thinking about here with the hired muscle is, do I just put another grappling arm? Let's go see. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else that's like viable to put in here for ones. The grappling arms did do a lot of damage. Oh, fuck. Alright. So what am I really looking for each round? I think hired muscles just cost too much over time. So are they just a mistake? Is a grappling arm just better than a hired muscle? I feel like the answer is maybe. But like, upgrades in general are weak because I guess I don't have to action cheat. Just when I want to action cheat, it's much worse. Our removal being kind of fucked up is also rough. But if most people go for 3PO, I think we're okay with it. So like, here's the thing. If Greez dies, Electroshock's dead. If R2 dies, Fluid Riposta's dead. If 3PO dies, Off the Sensor's dead. But everything else is relatively alive. I think push damage and then push ramp is probably what I'm normally looking for. So it'd be like play a grappling, push for a bunch of damage on a guy, action cheat, kill a guy. Disrupt fucks with people quite a bit. The hired muscles are interesting because it's quite good with the action cheat on Greez when he's carrying a vibro sword, but it's not very useful otherwise. Um, I feel like the Ewok moves change a lot of the dynamics, but there's still 11 fucking upgrades. So I have to have money in order to get an upgrade on whatever guy's left over, unless I'm just YOLO 3POing. The 2 Greez flip at the end is quite solid. Um, the Fluid Riposte is much worse here, though, with the Elite R2. Because he picks up a thing and normally he should be hit. I don't know how I feel about the other flea. We may also just have we have too many dice, I think, in this situation right now. I think we have like one too many dice. But I have to hit shit or I just die, right? So like this is probably also still fine, but it's hard to do fickle and activate and do stuff with the fucking money. I have to have money left over, and I think I spend too much of it. We're gonna take one of these out. We're gonna switch this to a defensive stance. I think it's still legal. Yeah. It's going to give us 2 shields. So this is weird in that it's not a straight up mitigation, but we have flanks and automateds, we have shocks, we have defensive stance. Not defensive stance. We have fluid riposte, we have flee. An aggro deck should in theory be faster, but if we action cheat and smash a guy and then flee, like we're cool with that. But we also don't want to push that too much, that prerogative too much either. Like we only have 3 action cheats. So like I think I'm okay with this. A lot of people just play slow as shit. So like this is probably where I want to be. But like the Anakin's is pretty rough. Chewbacca's does a bunch of damage on the back end, and that's like the Great Greez card, right? The question is like how fucked up do I fuck up my own numbers with trying to do this? I have to hit like multiple big ones in the first round in order to just not get dicked, because we have 7 right now. 7's too many. With 6, if I hit 2 of them, I have 4 left out of 25 cards, and 4 to 25 is like 1/6, which is just barely what I can deal with. Like, if we find 1 in the opening, then we're at 20%. 1 in 5 times, I'll fuck myself. But if I have 6 left, it's pretty bad. It's now 1 in 4. So, like, in theory, one of these Chewbacca should come out. But when you do the Chewbacca shit on Greez, it's real good. But, like, maybe I just don't need the Anakin Saber. And I can just make that a defensive card. So, we'll cut that. We'll put another defensive stance. Because this I can play late. I could also consider just like a merchant freighter if I just want something to ramp with, right? Because he has piloting, so it would help my money situation a bit. But this is 13 dice. We don't feel nearly as bad here. If we felt that we need the additional damage, we just go to the second grappling arm. Which isn't a particular issue here. I could just go like this. So I guess I could see how this works. And this is 13 pieces of mitigation. Instigate and offset sensor is 3, but the rest of these are removable. So the events go from 14 to 11 for removal, plus 2 riot shields. So back to 13. And we have 14 dice cards. So BD can also technically be like healing. It only goes on the one guy I put it though. But now I don't have massive redeploy here. So like if we find out the Chewbacca's is just getting Greez killed, then we could adjust But I think Chewbacca's is gonna be the big thing for fucking knocking people down. Like, trying to think money wise. What am I looking at? So the issue is R2 really has to flip to money on one of his dice like all the time. If I just Ewok Bow Greez, it would pretty much mean that I don't have a Vibro Sword, right? If not, it would be Ewalker grappling onto R2, roll out, show money. But if they mitigate it, it's like, oh. Whereas if I have Ewok Bow go on to Greez, then I can pull up 2 money on both. Is there another 1-drop we can run that would do what we need so that we can get that as a more reliable option? So we have Ewok Bow. We technically have this Han Solo die we could actually run with. That's just straight pure money, right? Do not play with the Jedi Holocron. Because we do not play with blue abilities. Neiman training is also not good enough. Actually, this is also blue character only, and I can't run it because R2 can't pick up abilities. Punch Dagger has similar concepts to Ewok Bow, but your base 1 turned into fucking 2 for 1, and you lost the shield side, and the shield side is relevant. Resistance Ring can't actually be run with 3PO if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it can, I don't know. Not good enough. So I think we're back to this. And we don't hate this. The hired muscle with R2 though worked very well. So what would happen is you'd like, all right, hired muscle, okay. Activate R2, flip or something, and then you would action cheat Greez and then flip all the melee and kill a guy. So I think this is the current situation of what we're looking at for the deck. Yeah. I could cut the off the sensor because I really dislike the action cheat a bit, but I'm fine with a third one. Like a third one is about right, but like an Ewok ambush would have been better. The dilemma is you can't Ewok ambush here with Greez like this. So we're back to 6. We cut the Anakins and what? A hired muscle for 2 grappling arms. Um. We'll see if there's anything else. All right. Just make sure there's nothing else. So Yoda's lightsaber is the other option, right? Doesn't have focus, doesn't have disrobe, but it does have a money side. God, I hate Yoda's lightsaber so much, though. Like, it's not the same because the lack of disrupt means I'm not content with it. But having the additional option for resource on Greez round 1 is like the big thing I'm thinking. It has a shield side for potential defense. It has several ones, no blanks, so less likely to need a reroll or a fix. The other concept is, yeah, it's pretty much just that I could decide who to go with based on what's happening. What am I playing against? So if I see the Yoda's lightsaber, I could either put an R2, then ramp with 3PO, and then come with the Chewbacca on Greez on the back end, or I could Yoda's onto Greez, roll out to try to show 2 money because they have a lot of removal or blanks. Um, 3PO into the money, play Chewbacca's on R2, and try to get them. The problem there with the R2 concept with Chewbacca is you're now so super loaded into R2 that like I may have needed to start with 2 shields on R2 over 3PO potentially. The Kanto Casino, I think we should probably just be taking shields usually. Um, and what? There's a lot of big guys, so I really want to hold the off the sensor as the third action sheet in case we're running into situations where some guy has 4 or 5 health left frequently, because then it's just like, okay, off the sensor, flip the Chewbacca's turns into the big side, or Vibrasor turns into the big side, and we kill a guy. The Yoda saber is also pairs with the Vibrasword on Grease, but it lets us YOLO 3PO much less because I really don't like to YOLO 3PO. In theory, though, if I like the BD1 heal because it's very good versus indirect X. We don't have a lot of shielding or like big shielding. Like we got rid of the Anakin saber, so we don't got those shields. We only have one hired muscle left. And none of these dice has like a 2 shield side. There's some 1 shield sides here on Ewok bow and on the Yoda's lightsaber, but none of the other ones have it. So I'd have shield side on R2 and 3PO. Entourage and Fickle don't have it either. Like Entourage is actually kind of weak in general because of the way I have to get through multiple of them for it to be really good. But I think we're still okay with that. The control sides are just too strong on it for a 3 cost. All right, so I think this is the current list, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, the one main concern here with going 2 Chewbaccas is that when we hit a 3, we don't want to overwrite it. Actually, so here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put the Anakins in. I'll explain 1 second. All right, so 1 second. We're going to cut from up top because I don't know why I do that. So the thing that the rationale here is we don't really want to overwrite. By forcing an overwrite, into a Vibro Sword, we lose potential from our big stuff. Like Entourage is obviously never overwrite, so that never comes up. But if we have a Chewbacca and say 2 Vibro Swords, 2 Chewbacca and 2 Vibro Swords, we have to consider overwriting Chewbacca every time the Vibro Sword comes up. Which is fine if we hit them together. Without the third redeploy, though, it's relatively tough. Um, I'm trying to think, like, so the main dilemma is that, what? The main dilemma is we don't want to go to 7 3-drops, even though we really do. Because with the second Chewbacca, we can overwrite. We have the 7 3-drops. The dilemma is if we don't start with 2 3-drops in hand, there's brutal issues. All of our 3-drop upgrades have the wrong sequencing combination with Entourage. Because you would want to... You'd pretty much want to Entourage, find the money, then play the other 3-drop. If instead you could play the 3-drop, then try to find the money, then play Entourage, the sequencing is more freed up. Because the dilemma is if I have to find the money on Entourage. So let's say R2 and 3P are already active. If I don't have a focus, I can't get to it. If I play the upgrade first, I can't get the additional money necessary without pretty much forsaking any other 1-drops or forsaking removal. Because I would have to find money, 3PO to 4. Now, the problem is I'm usually activating R2 first in that scenario, right? So then if I'm activating R2 first and then 3POing, the odds of 3PO having 2 money sides after is low. I would have to Canto Casino gamble in order to get to the 6, then play the 3-drop and Entourage and roll out Entourage and then Greez the money and whatever damage I have. And now Greez is a problem because the fucking 2-for-1 resource side is a dick on his shit. So then the question comes up, like, do I care about half of those cards? And, like, you can't run regular lightsaber. It's just not better than Vibro Sword. Vibro Sword for 3 is just phenomenal, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1, and then 2 discard. It's really just that 3 where, like, yeah, because it's pseudo Chewbacca-ish in concept. It's really going to boil down to like how we feel about said grappling arm. And the grappling arm can do a lot of damage, especially when you Greez and you flip into a bunch of 2 melees. The dilemma is that... What's the dilemma there? The dilemma there is if I push damage like that, I had to have hit decently well. My opponent would have to have skipped something, or I needed to then 3PO and find the resource on 3PO. So, like, the sequencing is a fucking mess. It really is best if I just put upgrade on Greez and then find money. The problem is if I miss that, then I have to 3PO YOLO. Because if I'm playing a big upgrade on R2, that's an issue. This is the sequencing doesn't become a problem if I have the Entourage. The Entourage sequencing issue is going to be that when I play Fickles, which is what I should be doing, if I don't have 3 resources, I can't play removal before the Fickle's in the pool. So any initial rollout, if I have to cast removal right away, they could steal my Fickle. And now I have to hit money right away so that I could steal it back before it fucking hits me. And then I'm broke again, so I can't advance board state. Kind of just want to cut the grappling arm for the second Chewbacca's back and see what happens. We're gonna do that. We're not gonna run grappling arm. So what do? We cut these 2. All right. Um, all right. So I think that's it. We do that and see what happens. Um, and I think it's okay. So like, how do I say this? Every bad person roughly will be like, "Oh, fucking 3 damage," and I have no other damage, and they're like, "I can't take 3," and it's like you can really just take 3. If you fuck with whatever my plan is, you'll be in a better position. Um, so the current concept is that we have 5 upgrades. We're roughly looking for any of them. In control matchups, we'd prefer to have the entourage. Because they're not going to push damage anyways. So in a control match, we can actually just go with the crazy board state. We have to push aggression into some of the damage decks that can deal stuff better. And if we can push them to attack Greez and get a Vibro Sword shifted to R2 or 3PO, our damage output becomes immense. So the Chewbacca setup into one of the other ones is massive. The dilemma here is setting up that initial resource. So I think with this current lineup, we can get a little bit of flexibility behind the fact that Ewok Bow and Yuta's lightsaber both have a resource side. So we can start that on Greez and then decide to just go Greez resource and then jam like a Chewbacca on R2 and then flip it into either a big ass Vibro Sword or an Anakin's. If we aren't seeing that stuff, then we can push the R2 prerogative, 3PO into money, and then put like a Vibro Sword on Greez or Chewbacca into Vibro Sword on Greez, depending on what's happening. If anyone spends any money, we can try to do the Fickle War and see what happens. But the Fickle War is also really brutal. This is gonna boil down to like how we cope with money situations. Uh, the off the sensor slot is actually potentially getting to a point where I'd consider just cutting it to have another stay alive card. So like another defensive stance or another flea. Um, I think right now I'm okay with this. The dilemma is that like flea is really bad with those supports. If I'm willing to just give up, so here's the thing: if I cut, I could theoretically cut, let's say entourages, keep the Fickles and hired muscles, and play reaps, so that I could just roll out with R2, reap into a 3PO, play big upgrade on Grease, and now we have like instigate off the sensor shenanigans and then flee the scene out. So there is a big potential like not aggression, but we keep Fickles and potentially hired muscles just because they're big and ridiculous. Heavy damage, kind of cheap, but our money would have to be good. So like we'd have to probably go like cut entourages for reaps or merchant freighters or fit them in the list. So then like at that point we lost additional slots and it's also still brutal. But we would have like heavy damage. It's just we'd be struggling all over the place, I think, money wise, because the entourage can just continue to hit money and pay for everything. Um, but you have to hit money twice in order to be in that situation. And against heavy aggression decks right now, like taking money twice, you would have to have built up a reasonable board state in order to do that. So like entourage could just be that thing we do not want to see. Maybe we'll like, and the problem is like you can't hit one then grab a fickle because now your special is just useless as a fucking 2. But I guess if you're just using it for money, it's whatever. It's just you want to get the other entourage, and maybe we could just throw the other entourage away and then play like fickle. And I don't know. I'll get more games in. So I'm probably just gonna focus on this for a bit while I try to make this the best I can. But all right, thanks for watching. Deuces.